Do you ever find yourself mindlessly opening Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, only to suddenly realize that 2 hours, maybe even more, have gone by just like that? The average person spends over 7 hours every single day staring at their screen. That's 49 hours a week, more than a full-time job. Let that sink in. You are working a full-time job for these apps for free. And what are you really getting in return? You know it's a problem. You know it's destroying your productivity, your sleep, and your worship. But no matter how many times you tell yourself, "I need to stop," you keep coming back every single day. Brothers, Shaitan has never had it easier. He doesn't need to work hard to distract you from your purpose. The screen does all the work for him. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening to your brain when you scroll, why these apps have more control over you than you realize, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. But first, you need to understand what's actually happening in your brain every time you open these apps. You've probably heard about dopamine. Most people think it's just the pleasure chemical, but dopamine is actually about anticipation, the chase, the hunt for the next hit of satisfaction. Every time you scroll, your brain is hunting for that one funny video, that one interesting post, that one piece of content that makes you feel something. These apps know this. They are designed specifically to keep you hunting. Think about TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Why do you think they made everything so short? Because they figured out that shorter videos mean more chances to hit that dopamine button in your brain, more chances to keep you hunting, more chances to keep you scrolling. But here's where it gets even darker. These apps use something called a variable reward system. It's the same thing that makes gambling so addictive. Sometimes you'll find an amazing video. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's interesting. You never know what's next, and that uncertainty is what makes it impossible to stop scrolling. Your brain literally cannot resist the urge to find out what's next. That's why willpower alone isn't enough. You can have the strongest willpower in the world, but you are fighting against your own brain's operating system, a system that these billion-dollar companies have learned to hack and manipulate. These apps have thousands of engineers, psychologists, and designers working day and night to make their products more addictive. They know exactly which colors to use, which sounds to play, and which animations to show to keep you hooked. They are not just trying to entertain you, they are trying to own you. But you might be thinking, everyone uses social media. It's not that serious. Well, let me tell you exactly what this addiction is doing to your brain, and trust me, it's worse than you think. Your mind is becoming addicted to constant stimulation. First, your ability to focus is being destroyed, and I mean literally destroyed. Studies show that the average attention span has dropped from 12 minutes to just 3 minutes in the past decade. You are literally losing your power to concentrate. You feel it when you try to read Quran, when you are in Salah, when you are trying to study or work. Your mind keeps jumping, keeps craving that next scroll. Your memory's getting worse too. Your brain isn't designed to process hundreds of pieces of information every hour. When was the last time you actually remembered something you saw while scrolling? You can spend 3 hours on your phone and barely remember anything you watched or read. Then there's your sleep. You know that feeling when you're lying in bed, exhausted, but you keep scrolling. That blue light from your screen is destroying your sleep quality. You might be in bed for 8 hours, but you're getting the sleep quality of 4 hours. Your mind is becoming addicted to constant stimulation. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence? When was the last time you could just be alone with your thoughts without reaching for your phone? You can't do it anymore. Your brain has forgotten how to just exist. This constant need for stimulation isn't natural. Your brain wasn't designed to handle this much input. We are forcing our minds to process hundreds of pieces of content every hour, jumping from video to video, post to post, never allowing a moment of peace, never allowing real thought. And the more you feed this addiction to stimulation, the worse it gets. Your tolerance builds. Regular content becomes boring. You need more, faster, more extreme, more engaging. It's a cycle that never ends. But brothers, what is this really costing you? Not just your time or your focus, but your relationship with Allah. Think about your last prayer and be honest with yourself. How present were you really? Your salah has become like everything else, just another task to rush through so you can get back to scrolling. We are trading our connection with Allah for endless scrolling that we won't even remember tomorrow. There is something deeper going on here. We are not just addicted to our phones, we are running from something. Running from silence, running from our thoughts, running from having to face ourselves. Because when everything goes quiet, when that screen goes dark, we are forced to confront what we've been avoiding. When you are alone, what is the first thing you do? Reach for your phone. When you are stressed, phone. When you are bored, phone. When you are avoiding that big decision in your life, phone. It's become our escape from everything we don't want to deal with. Our predecessors used to spend hours in reflection, hours in silence. They were not afraid to be alone with their thoughts. They found peace in it. But we can't handle 5 minutes of silence anymore. We are terrified of it. We scroll through hundreds of posts about other people's lives because we are avoiding living our own. We watch video after video about success, about changing our lives, about becoming better, while actually doing nothing to change. The phone isn't the problem. The scrolling isn't the problem. They are just filling a void, an emptiness, a lack of purpose, a lack of real connection with Allah, with ourselves, with what actually matters. They didn't need endless entertainment because they had something better. They had purpose. They had real connections. They had peace in their hearts. So, what do we actually do about this? Let me give you some real solutions. First, let's talk about what you can do immediately. Go into your phone settings right now and turn your screen to grayscale, everything in black and white. Watch how much less appealing endless scrolling becomes when those carefully designed colors are not hijacking your brain anymore. Next, delete the apps that waste most of your time. Access them from your computer only. Set specific times for using these apps. For example, maybe 30 minutes after work, and that's it. When you have a set time, you'll be more intentional about what you actually want to see instead of mindlessly scrolling. When you feel that urge to scroll, maybe read a good book, hit the gym, do anything that actually moves your life forward instead of keeping you stuck in the same loop. And most importantly, start building real connections again. Meet with friends, have real conversations. We are not used to it anymore, but this is what we are actually missing. This is what we are trying to replace with endless scrolling. The solution isn't complicated, but it requires something most of us have lost: the ability to be intentional with our time, to be present in our own lives, to find peace in something deeper than endless entertainment. Today, we've covered a lot: how these apps are designed to keep you hooked, the true cost of this addiction, and what steps you can take to regain control. But here's the key takeaway: this isn't about cutting technology out of your life completely. It's about taking back control and being the one who chooses how you spend your time. Right after this video ends, I challenge you to try something. Set a timer for just 1 hour without scrolling. Notice how often you instinctively reach for your phone and how uncomfortable it feels. That discomfort is a sign that your freedom is returning. Start with that 1 hour, then maybe tomorrow try 2 hours. Gradually build it up. Replace that scrolling time with something more meaningful, something that truly matters and will bring value to both this life and the next. Now that you've learned the truth behind phone addiction, you may also be facing challenges with porn addiction. If that's the case, click on the video here. See you in the next video.